to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. EasyWorship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to Powerful Presentations Made Simple.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in again, maybe, today to our Spring Training Summit Livestream. Dan and I are here to talk all things EasyWorship 8, as well as do a live Q&A session with you and do a training session through the software. You guys will get to see EasyWorship 8 in action on Dan's computer, and hopefully everything on our stream goes smoothly today.
Yeah.
We ran into some issues last night, so those of you who were there participating last night, who took the evening off to spend with us, we thank you so much for your patience. We sent out, an email and a social post apologizing for what happened last night, but we are ready to move forward and spend the day with you guys, answering all the burning questions you have about EasyWorship 8, what it looks like moving forward for the software, and what it looks like for your church if you choose to subscribe to EasyWorship if you aren't already. Dan, you have any forward anything?
I think you covered it all.
Sweet.
I think we're good.
So, starting off, we are going to do just a brief overview of EasyWorship 8, what is included in the update, like what features kind of came out with it, and then just a couple minutes talking about some of the things that we are working on that we're allowed to talk about. There's some super secret, like Area 51 level stuff that is off limits we can't talk about right now, but we will be getting information to you guys on that relatively soon. So EasyWorship 8. I think the most glaringly obvious thing to go over is the Mac version. This is something that we have been incredibly excited about for years, and our development team has basically been, we've locked them in a cage until they finished the Mac version, and now they've finally been released to go back and spend time with their families. So I think they're very excited the Mac version's out too. So Mac version, it has full feature parity with EasyWorship on PC. So that means all of the features that you know and love, the user experience, everything's the exact same on Mac that it is on PC. There's some things at the menu that are a little bit different based on, being on a Mac
Just on the
operating
operating
system. But, everything else is pretty standard and there's full feature parity. In addition to that, we will have full feature parity moving forward. So whenever we release something new in the future, we will also be seeing that feature also released on Mac in tandem with the PC version. So there'll be no difference between the two. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it on the Mac front. So one other thing that came out with EasyWorship 8 is the new editor / designer, I think we've also called it. So,
Yeah.
Dan, can you walk us through the editor and what changes kind of came on that front?
Yeah. So basically in the editor, if you're familiar with EasyWorship 7 or any previous version, any of the, EasyWorship 6 or 7, basically, when you edit a song or a scripture or presentation, there is an inspector that allows you to make format changes to the slides in that editor. That was a pop-out window, and sometimes it would get lost. You can move it around. We have changed that. We have actually built the inspector into the editor. It can be hidden and shown so that you can have it all in one place and be able to make those changes specifically for, or specifically in that editor so that you don't have to go find that inspector somewhere else. There are a couple of other new features in there, some things that we intentionally left out that don't get used, but for the most part, it's basically the same type of inspector. It's just built into the editor now.
Yep. So that covers the editor. And like I said before, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask those in the chat. I definitely ping the chat. I don't know if I said it out loud, but if you have any questions through this whole experience, please feel free to send us a message through the chat.
Yeah.
We'll review those. If you see me looking off to the side, that's what I'm doing. I promise I'm not just falling asleep. So I'll be answering those in the chat, and any questions that are relevant to Dan, I'll get him involved in as we move forward. Some other EasyWorship 8 information. We've also included a new profile transfer tool. Now, this is a little bit more technical, but basically what it does is it helps you move your database from one computer to another computer. So if you are wanting to move from an older computer to a newer computer, or a PC to a Mac, or vice versa, we have a built-in tool made that specifically for that can help you do that. It used to be a pretty manual process from what I understand.
We had a tool before, but it would just basically do a copy and paste from one to the other, but do it for you. So what this transfer tool does is it allows you to specifically move your database from a PC to a Mac, or from a Mac to a PC. You can back up your database, it backs it up into a file, and then you can restore it into the other computer. And it sets all the permissions and everything for your files, so you don't have to worry about, things working or not. But it just makes it a simple process. It gets everything that you need from that profile. You can select all of your profiles if you have more than one, and back those up and restore those to another computer.
Sweet. And I think one of my favorite parts, obviously other than the Mac version of the software, is with the new version of EasyWorship, we were finally able to put in new media that comes default with the software. So we got some cool motion backgrounds in there, some stills. I know everybody really loves the old chalice on the hill flowing in the wheat field, from 1974. But we finally updated the media that comes default installed with EasyWorship. So if you haven't already, definitely check it out. That's one of my favorite things, even though it's a pretty minor thing.
We also added a bunch of themes as well, that we didn't have before.
And this is actually a good time for us to plug Premium. So if you weren't aware, so EasyWorship has two different subscription standards. We have Basic, which includes the software, unlimited support, and unlimited updates. So I've had a lot of people asking, does the EasyWorship 8 cost more than EasyWorship 7? No. If you're on a subscription with our software, you can update to 8 right now if you want to. It's the same amount. You're basically paying for whatever version you want of the software that is active on the subscription at any time. So that's the basic subscription model. And then we have our premium subscription, which includes access to our premium media library. Now, last I checked, it has over 40-something thousand pieces of media.
Somewhere around 40 or 50,000.
Yeah, somewhere between those two. So it includes everything from stills to motion backgrounds, countdown timers, lower thirds, lyric media, anything
Mini
that
movies,
social
overlays.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much anything that you need as an out-of-box experience to help your creative team, or if you most likely probably don't even have a creative team, just helps you make your slides look a lot more professional and crisp and engaging, and can save you a crazy amount of time and money, and your church staff will thank you, or your pastor.
On top of that, on the website, when you're in the premium media and you select a piece of media, there's a media designer, and you can design and edit that piece of media however you want, and find other pieces of media in that same color group, or things like that. So there's editing options on the website as well when you're looking for new media.
Yep, absolutely. So it's unlimited customizability, basically. You can think of it as unlimited value. The sky is the limit on unlimited value. So we had somebody say, "Don't hate on my wheat field," which makes me laugh. That was really funny.
If you're missing those, I don't know.
Did we remove them?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry.
so.
If we removed them, please message our support team just with the most angry email that you can think of, and I'll have them personally
say, "Where's my chalice?"
Yeah, where's my chalice? And we'll have them send you a JPEG of your chalice, and you can save it for personal use. Let's see. Anything else related to EasyWorship 8 that you can think of, Dan? We hit Mac, profile transfer tool. It
Editor,
wasn't
yeah.
a super feature-rich release, but it kind of leads to what I was going to speak about next,
Yeah.
which is what EasyWorship 8 means for EasyWorship moving forward. So one of the biggest things, I would argue that the biggest thing about EasyWorship 8 is that our developers spent a ton of time doing what's called, they basically updated the code base of the software. So this is something that you guys would never see as users, but they basically changed the language in which the software was written in, and so that they are able to, in the future, bring out updates in a much more reasonable and efficient way.
Yeah.
So we should be seeing, both us and you as the users should be seeing features coming out that you've been asking for a lot more rapidly. Admittedly, it's been a while since we've released anything major, and so we're really excited that we can kind of tell you some of the things that we're working on and give a maybe not give a rough estimate, but let you know what we're working on. And, you can kind of see those features panning out over the near future. So we're super excited about that. And like I said before, we'll see feature parity between EasyWorship 8 on Mac and EasyWorship 8 on PC. So
what are some things we're looking at?
Yeah, good question. So the biggest thing that I think everybody's asking about and that we are diligently working on is cloud.
Yeah.
So Cloud Sync is something that we have been working on for a while now. But it's basically should enable you, as far as I understand it, not the most technical guy, but it should enable you to be able to work on a schedule at your house. You click a sync button, and then you can click sync button or something similar to that equivalent at the church at your computer, or the computer at your church rather, and it should sync all of your schedule changes. So you're not physically having to move. Sorry, I knocked my mic. You're not physically having to move the file from one location to another, or use like a cloud drive to manually do it. It should just be a lot more automated, seamless experience for, what you guys know. You have to work on things at home all the time and sync up to your church computer.
As long as you're logged in to your account on both of those computers, or however many computers you use, you'll be able to access that information, the schedules, whatever, database.
So that's our biggest one for sure that we're really, really excited about. And then the other big one that we're working on is the in number of outputs.
Yeah.
So this is something that has also been asked, what we call in number of outputs, which means an unlimited number of outputs that EasyWorship can handle from your computer, as long as you have that number of outputs to support. So if you have 4 outputs on your graphics card, you would be able to do 4 simultaneous unique outputs to EasyWorship, as far as I understand it. Dan is deep in thought, so I may be completely wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say something that isn't true.
That's fair. As far as we understand it.
The unique part is questionable to me.
Oh, still up in the air. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Don't put any like poly market bets down on what we're saying, because
In number of
totally
outputs,
wrong.
yes. Uniqueness, I'm not sure.
Okay, fair. You heard it here from Dan. Dan is I'm just here saying words. Dan's the one who has any authority between the two of us. So,
Well,
does EasyWorship 8 require a computer upgrade? Is a great question.
if you're running EasyWorship 7, the requirements are basically the same. We did update the requirements a little bit to allow for the newer video cards. But as far as everything else, it's really about the same. So if you're running 7 now, 8 should work.
Yep.
This in the same capacity that you're running 7 in.
If you're curious about Mac hardware requirements and thinking about making a switch or trying out a Mac version, we have those listed on our website.
Yes.
I'll find a link to those here in a minute and send that out.
We actually,
the chat.
on the Mac, we actually have EasyWorship running on the Neo, the new Neo, and it's a pretty basic level computer, and it runs great. So I think as far the minimum is the Neo and up to whatever.
Yeah.
The M series, we also support the Intel Mac back to, I'm not sure how far back. But if you have an Intel Mac, you should be able to install EasyWorship on it as well.
Yep. Let's see. So I actually whenever we sent out all the emails about this stream, we also asked everyone to submit questions that they had. So I had a few questions, about 10 or so, that asked questions about EasyWorship 8 that I wanted to go over. These are probably great, like frequently asked questions for you guys if you're curious about it, or someone that might be watching this in the future. What impact does EasyWorship 8 have for non-Mac users? We've kind of already gone over that, in that the updated code base should make it a lot easier for us to be able to push updates out.
Right.
But other than that, there's no...
You still get the new editor. The UI look is a little bit different. It's updated a little bit. But yeah, other than that, the code base, it just gives us the opportunity to bring things to you more quickly and fix bugs more quickly.
Yep. From Kirkwall Baptist says, do you have plans to run PowerPoint slides natively on the Mac version and also to add Keynote support? Yes, we do have plans to run PowerPoint slides natively on the Mac version, because it does run natively on the Mac version already. So there you go. As far as Keynote support, we don't have anything in the works for that right now, but potentially maybe in the future, as far as we know. So what are the advantages for updating from version 7 to version 8? Already went over that. Is there anything I should pay attention to while upgrading from 7 to 8?
I mean, as far as upgrading, no. I mean, you can upgrade to 8. It'll move over if you're on the same computer, it will use the same database. So you don't have to worry about anything there. If you're installing 8 on a different computer, you can use the transfer tool to transfer your profile from one computer to the other. Also, it will leave your EasyWorship 7 installed, so you could open one or the other if you wanted to. But once you install 8, I don't think you'll need to go back to 7 at all, because 8 is very stable. We've done so much testing on it. We have so many people using it right now.
Yep.
And anything that happens on 8, we are able to fix that very quickly. 7, we are not even updating anymore. So
yep.
Those are the advantages, I think.
Yep, that's great. Let's see. Had a couple more questions related to 8. How do we update to 8? Well, easyworship.com/download is the easiest way to do it. You can also find it through the support page. We have direct download from there as well. So if you're at easyworship.com, you can click on support and then scroll down, and then you should see downloads there at the middle of the page.
Yeah. And at some point, we will add that to the auto update in the software for EasyWorship 7. So at a certain point, if you don't update manually, then when you open 7, you'll see the automatic update come up and prompt you to upgrade to EasyWorship 8.
As long as you are on an active subscription.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. I think there's one more. I already answered this one. Is there an additional charge for EasyWorship 8? No, there's not.
If you're on the subscription, you can install EasyWorship 8 at no extra charge.
Yep.
For Mac and PC.
Yep. Okay. I think that's everything regarding EasyWorship 8. If you guys have any other questions for us regarding 8 or anything moving forward into the training, please feel free to post those in the chat. Dan will be running most of the training, and I will just be kind of intermittently adding in questions relevant to what we're going over. So any questions that are easy enough for my tiny brain to be able to answer them, I will be doing that in the chat. So yeah, Daniel, go ahead and take it away.
Sure.
Okay.
So basically, I'll be going through a basic, maybe semi-intermediate training here. For those of you that know EasyWorship 7 already, I'm going to go through some of the basic stuff pretty quickly, just so that the new users will be able to see what all is in EasyWorship. But then I'll get into a little bit more of the intermediate stuff, so that I don't bore most of you. So going to start out here, if you can see my screen, then you'll see that this is the EasyWorship that you'll see. We have a resource area at the bottom, and this is where you're going to see all of your songs, scriptures, media, presentations, and themes. Above that, we have 3 different columns. We have a schedule area on the left, a preview area in the middle, and a live on the right. The schedule is where you're going to add the items for your service. So if you want to have a countdown video or some kind of welcome video, you can drag and drop that from your resource area. I just went to the media tab, and this is where all my videos are stored. Also, I have images and feeds, but I can just drag and drop that into my schedule. Next, if I want a song, the next thing in our service is a song. I can drag and drop that to my schedule as well. If I want to add some scriptures, I just click on the scriptures tab. I can do a search for my scriptures. If I want to search for Matthew 7:7, and I'm just typing in Matthew, and it automatically completes and jumps to that book in the Bible. Then I can hit the space bar, hit 7, and I'm going to look for Matthew 7:7. Just hit the space bar or tab to get to that next field and type that in. And then it just jumps to that verse. So I can drag and drop that into my schedule as well. So basically your schedule on the left, everything that you want to do in your service, you can drag and drop from your resources into that schedule. And then I can save the schedule just by clicking save. In the center screen, this is your preview window. So anything that I select in the resource area at the bottom or in the schedule on the left, it's going to show up in my preview window. That way I can see what I'm going live to, see what it looks like before I send it live. So if I go to songs and I click on a different song, you'll see it changes to that song. So I can click on these items, the different slides in my preview, and it shows me in the preview output what that looks like. If I want to change that, I can right click on my song in the database and I can edit the song and make changes to that. And that is a permanent change. If I edit my song in the resource area at the bottom, that's going to be a permanent change until I edit it again or make a change to it again. If I just want to sing that song differently for that service or for that week, I can right click in the schedule and edit the item in the schedule. That is just a temporary change just for that schedule alone. All right, so then once I'm ready to go live, I can select the item in my schedule or double click on it. We'll send it live, but I can click on it and hit go live, and it's going to send that item to my live output on the right-hand side. You can see at the top, that is where I can select the slide that I'm on. And then below that in the live output, this is what's actually showing on my projector screen or TV, whatever you're outputting to, that shows what's out there. So instead of, you could have another monitor on your desk to see what your live output looks like, but you already have that built into EasyWorship. Now, when I click go live, you can see in my preview window that it queued up the next item in my schedule. So now instead of going back and selecting the item in the schedule to go live to it, I just have to click go live and it sends that next item live and then automatically queues up the next item in my schedule. Now I can see here that this is just another thing that you can change. I can see that my slides are pretty small, kind of hard to see. I can change the size of these slides in EasyWorship and in each column. So in the top right corner of my live window, I can click the drop down and change the size of these slides to where I can see them. There's a pretty good range of sizes here, large, medium, and small. I can also change this where these or how these windows look. So I can just move them left or right. I can move this one up or down, make it larger or smaller. Same thing with the preview window. I can change the size of those also, and the size of the thumbnails. And in my schedule window, I can do the same thing. I have large, medium, and small. I can move those up or down, and also go just to a summary view, which shows text. All right.
Real quick, Dan,
Yeah.
can you right click an item in the down at the bottom, the resource area, and add it to the schedule?
You can not, that's not going to add it to the schedule. No,
Okay.
no. It's
Someone was asking about
okay.
that. That's what I was-
It's a drag and drop. So if you can see in the very top right-hand corner of my window, I have a live button. This live button means that I either have my live output turned on or off. Right now it's off. But if I click live, it will start flashing and it will turn that live output on. If my live output is off, the way I have it now, I can double click an item in the resource area and it's going to add it to my schedule. So just double click, it adds that. Or I can press or click on the song and press enter, and it will add that item to my schedule. If my live output is on, the live output or the live button at the top right corner is flashing. If I double click or press enter on an item in the resource area, it's going to send it live. And I don't want to turn my live output on right now because I'm on a single monitor and it's going to come out to the front of my screen. So when you're connected to a TV or a projector, you're going to see your EasyWorship control screen on your computer, and then your live output from EasyWorship only will be on your projector or TV. So if you're seeing the same thing on both screens, that's one thing that we have a question about a lot is people see the same thing on both screens and it's duplicating the screens. EasyWorship is designed so that you can have the control screen on your computer in the back, and then your congregation only sees the live output on the projector or TV. There's also one other way to add items to the schedule. I never use this, but it's there. If I select an item in my resource area, I can go over here to the right side of the resources on the toolbar and click the plus button, and that'll add the item to your schedule. There's also a play button right next to that. I can select an item in my schedule or in my resource area and hit the play button, and that will just send it live. So those buttons are there. I don't really ever use those, but some people do, and that's easy for them to use. So there's another option. Same thing with the resource area as far as changing the size of it. You can move it up or down. And you can also move it all the way down and hide it. I'll just move it down here. So during your service, if you want to hide that resource area so it's out of the way, you can move it all the way down, and it makes your screen just seamless and clear for the service. If I wanted to look up a new song or a scripture or find a new piece of media in the middle of my service and my resources are all the way at the bottom, if I just click on one of the tabs, it will automatically bring that up. Depending on the side or where you have that, if I click away from it, it'll automatically hide it back down again. If you want it to stay, just bring it back up and it will stay up on the screen. Even when I click off of it, it'll stay there. So as far as the toolbar at the top, there's a new button. So you can create a new schedule, a new song, a new presentation, or you can create a new song from Song Select, which will take you to the Song Select integration in EasyWorship. You can log into your Song Select account and import songs directly into the database in EasyWorship. Open is just going to open a new schedule or a previous schedule that you've had open in the past. And you can browse for that. Browse for that file. Actually, yeah, open will open an existing schedule file for you. New is going to create a new schedule for you. Save is just going to save your schedule. You can also when you click save, you can allow, EasyWorship will automatically, it will not pack the files in the schedule, but you'll need to, let me explain that.
Okay.
Packing the files in the schedule. When you save a schedule, there are two different ways it will save. You can just save the schedule, and it will save the basic schedule information. If you have media files, PowerPoint files, different things in your schedule, you're going to want to export that as a standalone file. That way it's going to save all of that media information with it, so that if you take it to a different computer and run it, all of that information is there. You won't have to have the same media on that computer to be able to run that schedule. It'll run it directly from the schedule itself. And when we get to the menus, I'll show you how to do that as well. There's a web button at the top. This will take you to basically a web browser, which brings up our some of our videos, training videos, media, and you can go to the web button in web and just go to a website and schedule a web page. You can go live to a web page and show your congregation your church website, or whatever missions website, or whatever you want to show your congregation. You can do that from the web button here. I just click web again to turn that back off. Remote, if you have remote turned on, you'll see the remote button on the toolbar. This will allow you to use the EasyWorship remote app. So we have a free remote app with EasyWorship that you can install on an iPhone, iPad, Android phone, that allows you to run the schedule remotely. So if you don't have somebody sitting at the back at the computer operating EasyWorship, you can use the app on your phone. It will show everything in your schedule. You can select your slides. It'll show you a preview or a thumbnail of the slide that's live. So it's very helpful, especially if you're a smaller church. Like my church is very small, and I don't have anybody sitting at the back computer. And when my pastor comes up to give his sermon, he has the app on his phone, and he's able to change the slides himself whenever he reads a scripture or presents the points on his sermon. So, he is not tech savvy at all. So, sorry if you're watching, Todd, but
we love you, Todd.
yeah. But it's very easy for him to use. So, that is the remote. You can also set up MIDI cues through the remote if you use worship tracks, and automatically set up cues to allow EasyWorship to advance slides whenever you play through your worship tracks. And we also have a Stream Deck and companion app or plugins for you to be able to use those as well. And those are also done through the remote app or the remote button. Over on the right side of the toolbar is a Go Live. This sends whatever you have selected in your schedule or in your resource area. When you click Go Live, it's going to send that live. So for example, if I have slide number 4 selected in my preview and I click Go Live, it's going to go live to slide 4. So there we go. If I select a video in my resource area and hit Go Live, it's going to go live to that video. So that is Go Live. Alerts allow you to create simple message alerts that'll come up on the screen. If you're using a stage monitor or what we call fold back monitor, you can create specific alerts for that fold back or stage monitor, so that only the people on the stage will be able to see those. In alerts, you can create countdown clocks, timers, different things like that, or send a message like somebody's lights are on their car or something like that. Logo is going to turn on your logo. So whatever you select as your logo, when you click on that, we have the EasyWorship coming up on the screen there. And just click it again to turn that off. Now, to be able to set your logo, you can go to your Media tab and right-click on any image or video and set it as your logo. So if I wanted, let's say I want this cross image to be my logo, I can right-click on it and use as logo background. So now when I click logo, it's going to show that cross image. If I want to change it back, just right-click on the one I want to use and click Use as Logo Background. And when I turn it back on again, it shows that new image. So you can do that with images, videos. You could even create a presentation in the Presentations tab and set that as your logo. Black is going to clear out the screen completely. It's just going to go to a blank screen. You won't see anything. And this is very useful if you get lost, if you don't know where you are, something happens on the computer that you don't want the congregation to see. Just click black. It's going to black out the screen and they won't be able to see anything that's going on. Click that again, everything will come back online. So also if that happens, if I click black and I find where I am and I think, oh, I'm on 10,000 Reasons and we're on the second line or the second half of the chorus, I can click on that, double click on it. It's going to go live, but I'm still black on the screen. I just turn black off and I'm where I was, or I'm in the new spot. So you can go live to things even though your black is turned on, and then just go live to it again and it'll be there, or turn the black off. Clear is going to clear off any foreground elements. So your text or any other foreground element that you have on the slide, it's just going to clear that off and leave the background on the screen. Click it again, all your foreground elements will come back. And I've already talked about the live button. Again, it's a toggle for your live output. So whenever it's flashing, it's on, and when it's not, it's off. I am on the Mac right now. And so when I bring up the menus on the left, on the top left, you'll see a little bit of difference between the Mac and the PC. So on the Mac, it's native. I've never been a Mac person, but apparently it's native for all of the settings to be under the title menu, which is EasyWorship and then settings. So when you see this on the Mac, it's going to be different on the PC. It'll actually be under edit and options. But it's the same. When you click on it, it brings up the same options menu. So under EasyWorship, we have About EasyWorship. Again, on the PC, this is going to be under Help. So you'll have a Help and About EasyWorship. We have Service Settings, Hide EasyWorship, Hide Others, Show All, Quit EasyWorship. So I'll just go into the settings real quick and just give you a quick run through of what that looks like. So here we have the three outputs that we support: main, alternate, and foldback. Under alternate and foldback, you can enable or disable those if you use them or don't use them. And under each one, we have the general settings, song settings, scripture, presentation, transition, and alerts. You'll set up your output monitor, whatever output you're going to. Normally, it's going to be secondary monitor. When you're extending the desktop, you'll send the output to the secondary monitor. Alpha channel is for if you are using a key and fill to video mixer, then you can turn your output monitor would go to one output, that would be your fill, and then your alpha channel, which is your key, will go to another monitor.
Yeah, someone asked earlier if EasyWorship has built-in alpha channel, and so
It
I
sure
figured
does.
you would go over that.
Yeah, it has. Since the beginning, we've had alpha channel. So yes, you do need, for the alpha channel, you need two outputs on the computer, one for your fill and one for your key. and you can set those both up here. And on any of the outputs, if I enable alternate or foldback, either one of those, all three of those, you can use alpha channel if you want.
That's actually a really good question that somebody asked that I don't know the answer to. The question was, when you set a logo, is it only for use in that schedule that you made, or if you make a new schedule, will it still have that same logo saved for use?
Okay. Yeah, your logo is software wide. So basically, if whatever you select as your logo is set as your logo. The schedule doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah.
That was what I thought.
All right, back to settings real quick. So that's basically you have a default font on each of your outputs as well that you can change and set up your default font. You have under the song tab, scripture and presentation tabs, you have specific font settings for those that will override your default settings. But your default settings are going to take over whenever you don't have anything specifically set. And then service intervals. These are going to be your start and stop times for your services. You can set those up, and these come in handy if you use the foldback monitor or the stage monitor, because you can turn on that service interval clock and it'll show you a countdown to the service start time. And then a couple of minutes after your service starts, it will start showing a countdown to the stop time. You can also use these in your alerts when you're creating countdown clocks.
Shout out to the Smeagol22 who just asked about foldback monitor.
All right.
Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just asking about foldback?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You covered it.
Okay. Slide labels. These are the labels on your slides. If you have verse, chorus, intro, ending, outro, anything like that, bridge, tag. We have a bunch of labels here that are already colored and named, but you can always add more that if you want, and you can change the colors of these. A lot of times I'll change my chorus color to kind of a bright yellow or a bright green color, just so I can see where those are when I'm live. And you can see the chorus on this slide in my preview. My chorus is a purple color. It's kind of dark for me. I like to see where my chorus slides are and where my verse slides are. And so I kind of make those a bright color in case I jump back to a chorus or the worship team jumps back to a chorus or a bridge. I can easily scroll and find where that is and go to it quickly. So that is the slide labels. Again, you can add your own custom slide labels. And then advanced, most of this stuff you're not going to use. I'll just go over a couple of these. Show live screen on startup. That means whenever you open EasyWorship, your live output will be turned on. Advanced schedule after go live is pressed. What that means is when you go live to an item from your schedule, it automatically queues up the next item in your preview window. And then the last thing I want to show you here is enable remote control. If you use the remote or MIDI or a Stream Deck or the companion app, you'll want to enable remote control. If you don't use any of those and you don't want the remote button on the toolbar, you can uncheck enable remote control and it'll remove that remote button altogether. All right, so that is the options. Let's see, file menu. Those are the basic file menu, edit, live. Live is basically just the toolbar buttons on the right-hand side of the screen. On the profiles, what this allows you to do is create different profiles. If you have a, let's say you have a contemporary service and a traditional service, maybe you have a Spanish service or a youth service, and they all use the same computer, you can create different profiles that will keep your database separate from each one so that the songs, you don't have to see all of your traditional contemporary Spanish youth songs all together. Those can be separate. It just makes it easier to find the songs and even the media. Your media would be separate also. So instead of scrolling through a bunch of media that you're never going to use for that service, you can have those separate for each type of service that you want. You can also add and remove your demo data. And the demo data is the new, like we were talking about before, the new media that we added to EasyWorship. That is the demo data. There are also a couple 300 some songs, public domain songs that come with EasyWorship as well. The view menu on here, we do have 3 different views of EasyWorship. The primary is preview and live, and that's what we're in now. But there are a couple of different views, and you can check those out anytime you want. Just switching to one, it's just going to change the view. Nothing else is going to change, just the way the layout is. And the interface color, you can go from dark to light. I like the dark myself. It's a little easier on the eyes. And then you have window and help. Under help, you can check for updates. So whenever we do push this out for any kind of updates, bug fixes, or feature updates, you can check for updates. It'll come up automatically, but you can always check for updates. It'll tell you if you're on the current version or not, which I am on the current version. You can also see your registration here as well under register products, or you can re-register it if you ever need to. Background helper will show you what's happening in the background of EasyWorship. Usually it's nothing unless you're downloading something. All right. Take a pause here for a second.
Yeah.
Have any questions?
Sorry, lots of stuff.
I feel like I'm just taking over here.
You did great. Yeah. So I went ahead and made a poll in the chat just to kind of get just a nice straw poll of seeing what you guys felt like were some of the cool features that could be coming up in EasyWorship that would be nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll and we'll see the results. But it looks like integrated live streaming was #1 with 43%, which would be really cool, but super, super hard for us to do. Not that that's even something that we're working on. I was just curious if you guys found value in that. Cloud synchronization in second with 36%, unlimited number of outputs 21%, and nobody really cared about edge blending for multiple screens. So I can say we are working on edge blending, which nobody cares about in the chat.
Yeah,
So
I think that was more
that's cool.
popular in the past, but
edge blending is our producers like, what is edge blending? It's where you can have 2 giant screens together and you can make it like one big display, basically. Yeah.
And I think, it's not as popular anymore because most churches are going to TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the larger churches. They still use, I guess, or they use LED.
Yep.
LED
walls. Mm-hmm.
Which you really don't need to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he's like, the only reason we haven't used EasyWorship because they don't have edge blending, and so thought that was a really big deal, but I guess it's not that big. Nobody else here really cares about it, so I'm just gonna yell at my
If
brother-in-law.
you're stuck in the Stone Ages, maybe. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Riley, you heard Dan. Come get him. Let's see. I haven't had any relevant questions so far that you haven't gone over that I also couldn't answer, Dan. But just to give your voice just a second to take a break, somebody asked, is EasyWorship free? So EasyWorship does have a 30-day free trial that we offer. You can go to easyworship.com/download, and then you'll basically just check the box that says, I want to receive updates, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get an email from us letting you know how to start your free trial. So we do offer the longest free trial out of any presentation software on the market, which is a great claim to fame for us. We only recently started doing that. You can use EasyWorship completely for free. However, there will be a watermark on your live output that says EasyWorship because that's how we basically prevent people from stealing the software. So If you do start your free trial, you will get to experience what it looks like to not have that watermark on your screen for the first 30 days. And if you choose to subscribe afterwards, same thing. If you are seeing a watermark on your screen, if you can't figure out how to get logged in and you know that you have an active subscription, give our support team a call. Our accounts team can definitely get you taken care of and make sure that you're able to present the way that you should be with no watermark on the output.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just if you're logged in, maybe you have the wrong organization chosen. If you have one or two organizations, or you might just need to log out and log back in, and a lot of times that will fix that issue.
Like the classic IT, just turn it off and turn it on again. Yeah. There you go. Let's see. Had quite a few questions about live streaming, few questions about the CCLI integration, few questions about saving, kind of like what we talked about before about what our stopgap is for transferring schedules from one location to another. But I think we might have already touched on that. The saving and getting from one computer to another.
Oh yes, I do need to go over that real quick. But yeah, let me. While
Dan is logging.
Talking,
Dan is logging into CCLI right now, so he can show us what the song select integration looks like live. So for those of you who don't know, so EasyWorship integrates directly with CCL or Song Select by CCLI. In the software, if you are on an active subscription on 7 or 8, you should, down in the resource area when you're at songs, you should see a little button that says Song Select. And if you click that, it should let you log into a Song Select account. Now, do be aware that you do need a Song Select account to be able to use this integration. So they are a totally different company, a different entity than us. So you do have to pay for that. But it's awesome. You can do auto reporting, which means you don't have to manually report your song usage if you're wanting to stay compliant with regulations that you're supposed to be doing. A lot of churches don't do it. We would highly recommend it. But you can also, I think the best feature is you can import directly from Song Select's library, and they have like a gajillion versions of every single song imaginable. So it saves your team a ton of time of manually importing songs or, typing them into and creating a new song in your database. So highly suggest checking that out if you haven't before. Dan can probably walk us through and show us what that actually looks like, rather than just having to listen to me talk about it. But you want to show them real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's show them.
Take over.
All right. So I'm going to go over the Song Select integration and saving schedules, and then also auto reporting. So the first thing is your Song Select integration. When you're in the Songs tab, there's two different ways. And one I mentioned already. If you go to the New button on the toolbar, you can import a new song from Song Select, and that will take you directly to the Song Select integration in the Songs tab. Or you can just go to the Songs tab and click Song Select. Once you're there, you'll see the list of the top 100 songs from CCLI. This is always going to be their top 100 songs. And on the right-hand side, you'll see just a preview of the selected song. And just to kind of, because a lot of the songs have the same titles, you might want to make sure you get the right one. So it'll give you a preview of the lyrics for that song. If you need to see more information on that song, just to make sure you have the right song, you can click Show Details, and that's going to bring up the CCLI ID number. If you click on that ID number, it's going to take you to Song Select's website to that song. But there, it also shows you the title, the key, the copyright information. And if you want to download the PDF chord sheet, if you pay for chord sheets, you can click on that and it will take you to the chord sheet so you can download it. If you just have a CCLI license and you're not paying for any kind of chord sheets, lead sheets, hymn sheets, anything like that from Song Select, you do get the Song Select lyric service for free with your CCLI subscription. So you can download as many song lyrics as you want with that subscription. But if you do any kind of the other sheets, the chord sheets, lead sheets, and so on, you do have to pay an extra subscription for that.
Someone asked, this is more of troubleshooting, but when I import a new song from Song Select, it completes the copyright info and the CCLI number, but it leaves the reporting provider as unknown, even though CCLI is in the dropdown. Is this a bug?
That's a good question.
We don't know.
So I'm going to I'll click back to go back to this song. I'm going to find one that I don't have in here. Maybe I have all of the top 100. Oh, here we go. Forever Yahweh. So you can see on a different song, let me find one. Well, a lot of these don't have. Go back up to the top. I didn't have to go down very far. Okay. When I click on a song, you'll see that on the right-hand side, it'll say show details, view in library, or re-import. That means that I already have that song in my database. If I click on a different one that I don't have, here we go. Oceans. I don't have that one in my database because when I look on the right-hand side, all I have is show details and import. So I can click import and it imports it into my database. I can click view in library. That's going to take me directly to that song in my library. So from here, if I edit the song information, or edit the song and go to presentation and click info in the editor, it is going to show the information for that song. And yes, it is putting the reporting provider as unknown. I'll have to look into that. Let me see if I have auto reporting turned on. I wonder if that makes a difference. So I'm going to go back to Song Select. I can right click on any of the songs in Song Select and go to integration settings. And from here, it's going to ask me if my auto reporting is not turned on, it'll ask me if I want to enable that. And if it is on, it'll ask me if I want to disable it. So right now it's off, so I'm going to click enable. And now my auto reporting is turned on. So whenever I go live to a song, and it is set to report to CCLI, EasyWorship will report that to CCLI automatically. As long as you're logged into your Song Select account in the resource area, in Song Select, it's going to report that to CCLI. So let me go down to a song that I don't have again, and I'll try to re-import one. Let's do How He Loves. And I'll just click import, view in library. It jumps directly to that song in my library. I'm going to right click and edit the song. Go to presentation and info, and it is set on unknown. So we will look into that, make sure that it is setting the correct reporting provider. Because yes, it should set that to CCLI. All right.
Thanks for letting us know.
Thank
We'll
you
get
for
that.
noticing that.
Everybody's learning together. What a cool experience this is, right? Somebody asked, this is a great question. When you add a chorus, bridge, or etc. in the editor with a song you pulled from Song Select, does it save those changes in your song library?
Yes. Well,
depends how you edit it.
Depends on how you edit it. Now, you're not able to edit the song when you're in Song Select. So if I go to Song Select and I right click on a song, I'm not going to get an edit window.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way for me to edit here. Also, I've run into this before. I've been in Song Select and I'm like, oh, I want to do Hosanna. And I try to drag it up to my schedule and I can't.
Yeah.
You can't add a song directly from Song Select into your schedule. You have to go back to your all songs or any collection that you have set up for your songs.
After you've imported it.
After you've imported it.
Yep.
So now that I have How He Loves in my database, I can right click and edit that song in my database. If I want to make a permanent change to that song, if I always want to sing it verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, however you want to do it. Or if I want to break it up into more slides, because there's a lot of text in one slide on this song. So to be able to do that, to break up the text, I can click my cursor anywhere in the text area on the left. And at my cursor point, when I press Command Return on a Mac or Control Enter on a PC, it will move everything on that slide below my cursor to the next slide, to a new slide. So I just continue doing that. I'm not actually looking where I'm separating these. I'm just kind of separating it just to show you how. So I click my cursor at the end of a line and do a Command Return, and it pushes everything down to a new slide below that. So once you finish doing that, I'll do it here for the verse 2. So I've got a few different slides here broken up. And if I click apply and OK, now that is permanently changed in my resource area. So every time I go to that song, I'll see the changes. Now, if I take a different song, let me go to I Thank God. All right, I'm going to drag that song up into my schedule, and I'm going to right-click and edit the song in my schedule. Now, since I'm editing in my schedule, this is a temporary change. So it only is going to change that information for that schedule. So let's say I want to break up the slides on this one just for that one service. So I'll go break it up here. Yeah, a couple of seconds. And so I've broken that up. Let's say I want to duplicate my chorus. So I'm going to select all of my chorus and right click and duplicate slide. And that duplicates the entire chorus. Then I'm going to drag and drop or select the entire chorus, and I'm going to drag it down after my bridge. All right, so I took all 3 of those slides, dragged it down below my bridge. And so now I've got those changes. I'm going to click OK. And I see those changes in my preview window. I can scroll down. I see that I have my chorus at the bottom after my pre-chorus or after my bridge. And you can see, like I was talking about the labels before, the colors. Chorus and bridge are very similar. So I like to change the color of my chorus slides to something different than what is already there. It just makes it easier to see. But if I go back to my database song at the bottom in my resource area and click on I Thank God, I can look in the preview window and it hasn't changed. So the song in my schedule now, I Thank God, is different than the one in my database. Now, if I decided, yeah, the changes that I made in the schedule, I want those to be permanent in my database, I can right click on the song in the schedule and go to check schedule for changes. It's going to say this song is different. It'll bring up a window. This song is different than in your schedule than in your database. What do you want to do with it? So here I can say I want to replace this song in my resource area with the one from my schedule. Or I can say do nothing. I decided I don't want to change anything. I can add it to my resource area. That means it'll keep the original song in my resource area, but I can also add this new arrangement to my resource area as well. Then I'll have 2 separate ones. Replace in the resource, which I already mentioned. You can replace the one that's there with the one in the schedule, or I can update the schedule. If I say, no, I don't want the changes in my schedule, I just want to go back to the original song that's from my database and put that in the schedule, I can just say update schedule, and it's going to update the schedule with whatever song is in your database. All right, so right now I'm just going to say do nothing, and well, you just cancel because I don't want to change anything. All right, So that is how one way you can add items from your schedule into your database. Also, if you are transferring a schedule from one computer to the other, let's say you added some media files, maybe added a new song to your home computer and you're creating the schedule, and you save that schedule as a standalone schedule, which I'll show you in just a second. When you open that schedule on your church computer, you can tell it to check for changes, and then you can add those items, that song and the media items that you added to the schedule at home, and you can add those into the database on your church computer. So saving your schedule. If I just want to save the schedule, like I'm on a laptop, I work on the schedule at home, I take the laptop to the church, and I use the same computer, all I have to do is click save. It's going to save the information. The schedule file will be fairly small because it won't save all of that media information into the file. But if I am working on my home computer or office computer and I want to use that schedule on the church computer, and I may not have all of that media on both computers, I want to save that as a standalone file. That way it'll save everything into that schedule file. I'm going to click on the file menu, and it'll give you an option. You can click Save Schedule As. Also, and this will just allow you to save to a different location. But if I want to save a standalone file, I'm going to click on File and Export Standalone Schedule. This will allow me to save that file with all of the media and everything added to it. And that way you can use it on any computer, or even if you go to a different, if you're taking your schedule to a different church that they're doing a special service, or you are doing a concert for, or anything like that.
Yep.
You can save a standalone schedule file and then run it on whatever other computer you're using. All right.
Let's see. How about live streaming, Dan? How does EasyWorship handle live streaming? Or how do most churches handle using live streaming with EasyWorship?
All right.
Just make it maybe like a standard walkthrough of that.
Yeah. So live streaming, there's not a direct live stream from EasyWorship, but it's very easy to be able to live stream using EasyWorship. EasyWorship uses an NDI output for all three of its outputs: live, its main output, alternate output, which we did design for live streaming itself. You'll have the same content on your alternate output that you have on your main output, but it could be formatted a different way. So if you have your text or your lyrics, scriptures, presentations, if you have that text on the full screen for your congregation in-house, your alternate output, you could have it set on the lower thirds so that you can have your camera feed on the full slide, and just have the lyrics overlaid on top of the lower third part of your live feed. Most people, I believe, use OBS or vMix,
Yep.
Wirecast, Boxcast. How you can send your NDI output to any of those software programs, software encoders that can then live stream. And you can bring your cameras into OBS or whatever program you're using.
Yep.
And overlay that information onto
EasyWorship. So somebody asked earlier,
or onto the live stream,
Yeah.
or the live feed.
So somebody asked earlier, how do you guys do what you're doing with streaming to multiple locations at once? So we are using Boxcast,
Yes.
which is software encoding and sending out RTMP stream to Facebook, and because there's several different services that you can use for that. We've used Restream in the past. We're using Boxcast now because they've been great partners with us in the past and doing some different marketing materials and hanging out with us conferences and stuff like that. So
and they also have they do a software encoder and a hardware encoder. So
So we basically just use Boxcast for streaming to multiple locations at once, Facebook and YouTube. But I mean, ideally, you could send to a bunch of different locations at once. You just have to have a good network,
Bandwidth, yeah.
and have to not make mistakes like we did last night. Not to beat that dead horse, but
yeah, NDI output is a very simple way, because you don't have to have an extra video port from your computer to go to a mixer or hardware encoder or anything like that. You can just send it NDI through the network. But you could also use your EasyWorship as a mixer. You can, if you have a capture card on your computer, you can bring your camera feeds into EasyWorship and set those feeds as your backgrounds to your songs or scriptures or whatever, and then just use EasyWorship as your mixer and change your text box to be lower thirds, and then change your live feeds whenever you want as your backgrounds.
We had someone ask earlier, which is a question we answer every single time we do one of these streams, but it's really fun because we always answer a little bit differently. So I'm interested to see what Dan says. Am I allowed to stream YouTube in my church? Or am I allowed to add YouTube as a source in my EasyWorship presentation in church? Dan, not a minefield at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a lawyer or any kind of expert on that. We do have some comments from people sometimes that are in the extreme, but as far as my knowledge, YouTube is for personal use only and is not intended for displaying to an audience. So legally, I believe you cannot show YouTube videos, even if they're from your own YouTube channel, to an audience. But on that subject, it is possible to do it through EasyWorship if you wanted to.
And I'm going to show you how to. That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you how to do that, but
yeah, you could probably find a video.
It is available to do, but technically, legally, according to the terms of YouTube itself, it's not for public use. It's for personal use only.
Somebody asked, what was yesterday's error? What was the problem with the live stream yesterday? And I would just like to say, I am not the technical one out of the two of us, but I figured it out. And it was that we...
it's my fault.
It's not Dan's fault. It's everybody's fault. We reformatted our stream computer after the last Training Summit because we had some issues with overheating if you attended that one. So, yeah, we had some camera heating issues that, we didn't know what was going on. So we kind of cleared everything out and reformatted our stream PC. And after we formatted the stream PC... we forgot to update the graphics drivers. So we were using our graphics card as a hardware encoder, basically, and on graphics drivers that were like 12 years old.
Yeah. I mean, if any of you know hardware, we have two 20, I think we have two, no, what are they?
4090s? Graphics cards?
Yes, two 4090s.
Yep.
Yeah, RTX 4090s, yep. And it was probably just using the Microsoft drivers.
Yeah. So anyway,
that was the issue.
That was that. How much are the Bible versions in pounds? You can see pricing for the different version, the paid versions of Bibles. They're
all $29 US dollars. There might be a couple international ones that are different language ones that are 39, I think, US dollars, but the majority of the copyrighted Bibles are 39 US dollars. I don't know what that converts to in
39 or 29
pounds. $29. Did I say 30?
Yeah, you did.
The majority of them are $29.
The majority of them are 49. I'm just kidding. Just keep making it worse.
You know what? They're 99. No.
Yeah.
29,
you can see them on there.
29 US dollars.
Somebody asked, how many computers can I connect with a single EasyWorship license? Is it unlimited? So EasyWorship license, we have a very specific license. We have what's called a campus license. So any computer that is used in service of a single location. So if your church is a multi-campus church and you have 5 campuses, you should be having 5 EasyWorship licenses if you're adhering to Christian values. So, but there are some churches that kind of game the system. But if you have a single campus church, you can have 20 people working on that. You know, there's a good chance you don't need 20 people working on that on 20 different computers at their house. But, you know, we're pretty accepting and understanding of, you know, different churches' situations, especially volunteer-led churches. We know that it can get a little bit crazy sometimes with ebb and flow of new volunteers. So, yep, as long as you're in service of a single church location, you can have as many locations as you need.
As many computers as you need, yes. And that, like he said, the campus extends to your home computers. If you're using your home computer to create schedules for your church, you can register your license on that computer. Although you don't have to, really, because the trial, or even the trial with the watermark, if you're not registered, is fully functional. So you can create schedules and not even be registered, take it to the computer at the church that is registered and run the schedule. It's not going to make any difference.
I just got it from somebody named OBL918. I have it on good authority that the CCLI reporting provider bug will be fixed super soon. And it turns out that that's one of our developers. It's Brandon. It's really funny. He also posted something earlier that it made us laugh too. So thanks for being here, Brandon.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. We had somebody else asking something. Have you heard any reports of issues with the alternate output going to NDI? For me, certain background issues do not display and PowerPoint presentations often lag. I don't think I've heard anything from an overarching standpoint if we've had multiple people reporting that.
Say that again.
Certain background issues do not display and PowerPoint presentations often lag when using NDI with alternate output. So I would say if you're having technical issues, get in touch with our support team, because they'll be able to troubleshoot with you and walk you through the process of getting things figured out, Ryan.
Yeah, I will say, as far as PowerPoint goes, because that's another change between EasyWorship 7 and EasyWorship 8. EasyWorship 7 and previous were 32-bit programs. EasyWorship 8 is 64-bit now. And so it seems like if you're using PowerPoint, it is best, or with EasyWorship 8, it is best to have Office 64-bit version installed. Your PowerPoint will work much better that way. So if you're having that issue with EasyWorship 8, then yes, I would say make sure you have 64-bit Office installed. Otherwise, contact our support for technical issues like that, and they can help you out.
Yeah, and this is just to plug our support team. We have second to none support. Like, our support team's incredible. They will work with you through any problem. They respond super quickly. We also have many ways to get in touch with them. So we have a live chat functionality on our website, easyworship.com. You can also submit a ticket by emailing them, support@easyworship.com, which I'll post all of these in the chat. Or you can even give us a call. I think it's, is it 250-1493?
918-250-1493.
Yep. I'll also post that in the chat for you. So we have regular business hours during the day from 9 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So during our daytime, I know may not be super convenient for you guys. We do have some things in the work to be able to provide 24/7 support. Currently, we also don't offer support over the weekend, which is a lot of time when churches need it, whenever you're having issues on Sunday. So we definitely have some things in the work from the support side to get 24/7 support so you guys can have help when you need it. That's one of our big goals for this year too. Updating from EasyWorship 7 to EasyWorship 8. You go to easyworship.com/download. We said that a few times already, but that's totally okay if you're just now tuning in. So I can pay for just one license and use it in my main service, youth service, and kids service. Absolutely, Designer for Jesus.
Yes.
Let's see. Wilmore Dube says, can I use a second laptop to edit something on the database while the first laptop is on live? Well, they'll have different databases.
Yeah. Two different computers will have each computer will have its own database.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about the schedule, if a schedule is open, you're not going to be able to edit that same schedule. Now, if you have a copy of that schedule on the other computer, you can edit that, but it's not going to make any change on the other computer. But if you store, let's say you save your schedule to a cloud storage like OneDrive or Google Drive or something like that, and you open the schedule from that location on your church computer, if you try to open that same schedule from that cloud drive on a different computer, it won't let you. It's like same as like a Word document. If you have it open, it's going to say this document is open somewhere else and you can't open it. So
we did have somebody ask about, it was the same guy, Wilmore. He was asking about changing the aspect ratio for doing something on like an LED wall. Can you do a quick in-app view of that? Because we can change aspect ratio, right?
Yeah, basically EasyWorship is going to send the output to whatever resolution you have set for your secondary monitor. So in the settings for a Mac or options for PC, when you go to, you can click on monitor setup, and that is going to take you to your Windows or your Mac monitor display settings. And there you're going to set your resolution settings. So whatever that is, if I choose secondary monitor, I don't have a secondary monitor installed right now. If I choose secondary monitor, it's going to show that resolution, whatever you have set up in Windows. So you can change the aspect ratio. You can set in a custom position, and I can tell it the exact width and height that I want for that. But you can also, if you're, let's see, I believe, yeah, I think that's going to be the best way. So really that aspect ratio is going to be set up in your Windows display settings. If your secondary monitor is an LED wall and it has some weird resolution, that resolution is going to be set in your Windows display settings or your Mac display settings. And EasyWorship will pick that up automatically. If not, then you can set that in your custom position setting.
Let's see. Someone was asking how to create like a text effect, like a shadow underneath a lower third lyric. So you could do that in the editor by changing in the theme.
If you wanted a shadow or like a reflection.
They said shadow. You could offset the back, right?
So in the editor, I'll just kind of go through the inspector because this is the new part of EasyWorship 8. We have the new editor here, and the inspector is built in over on the right-hand side. I can hide that if I click on whatever tab you have selected. It'll hide it, but I can click on Format, Animate, or Presentation, and that'll pop the inspector back over. on the right-hand side. So here we have slide information, so I can tell it which elements I want showing live on a song. By default, it's going to be song and copyright information. My slide layout is here, and I've got where I can change a theme if I want to. And then below that, we have background. And this is where I'm going to select a background for this slide. If I go to edit slide layouts, that's going to select my master slide, so I can change all of my slides at once. So if I wanted to change a background, I can click there and select it, and go back to my words or slides tab and see that all of my backgrounds have changed to that new background. But here you can change, if I go to, go back to words tab, and I have text. So I can change my shadow settings, my outline settings here for any of my text. Again, if I just go here without being on layouts, I'm only changing information for that one specific slide that I have selected. So if I change my shadow for what I have selected now, it's only going to change it for that slide. If I want to change all of them, I can do a Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC to select all of the slides, and then make that change, and it'll change it for everything. Or I can go back to layouts. Well, I can't go to, no, not on layouts because it doesn't give you the text option. So you just, whenever you want to change all of the slides, the best way right now is to select all of the slides, and then you can make those changes. But then you can just go through this inspector. There are different things. The layout, you can set margins, your text layout, your alignment, your auto sizing, your text formatting. This is where you can tell it to capitalize all the words or the first word of each line. Word wrapping. Under animate, this is where you can tell it if you want it to auto advance after a certain amount of time, which would be automatically, or you can do a fixed duration if you want it to, like say I want it to advance after 7 seconds, I can put that in. That is my fixed duration of time. And then presentation, this is just where I can change the theme. And here's another place where you can change the aspect ratio specifically for this presentation or this song. If you want to display it differently than what your live output is, you can change that here. And then the info, which we've already been to, just shows the information for that song. But yeah, I would say go through that inspector, the new inspector, and kind of play around with it, see where different things are.
Yep.
And change some formatting things, some options there, and just see what you can do with it.
So that brings us pretty much to the end, I feel like, of what we're wanting to cover today. So for those of you who still have questions left over, please feel free to post them in the chat. We'll get to them if we can in the next couple of minutes. If not, Dan and I will be reviewing all the comments are on the YouTube and the Facebook video for the coming weeks. We monitor all of our social channels, so if you ever want to connect with us, please feel free to do so through there. Let's see. I'll see if there are any more questions that are low-hanging fruit.
Do you want me to go real quick through the premium media, how to import premium? If you do have a premium media subscription, that is integrated into the software as well. So if you go to the media tab and go to premium media, this will bring up all of the media items, and it will always have the newest items first. So right now we're kind of in the US, at least, we're kind of getting into summer. So a lot of the summer stuff is going to be the first thing that you'll see on here. But any other kind of holidays or things like that, that's what's going to show up at the top. Anything that we've added recently is going to be at the top. We do have filters that you can filter through. So if I wanted to look for just for good catch. If you wanted to look for just countdowns, I can click countdowns. If I want just motion countdowns, I click on that. Obviously, the countdowns are going to be motions. But we're going to see that I just have a bunch of countdowns here. If I want to download one of these countdowns, I just click, hover my mouse over it, and then click the download button, or I can double click on it and it'll bring it out a window on the right-hand side, and then I can click import there. Now, once I do that, see how long it's going to take to import that. It shouldn't take too long. There we go. So now I can click view in library, or if I never even double clicked on it and I'm just here and I click to download, now you'll see a check mark. If I click that check mark or view in library, it's going to take me directly to that video in my library. So now I can just add that countdown timer to my schedule and go live to it, and I'm live. So you can do that with any of the premium media. If you have a premium media subscription with EasyWorship, you can access any of the premium media here and download it, use it immediately if you want once it's downloaded.
Is there an easy way to import multiple items at the same time, Dan?
So right now it's just you can download one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could go this is a collection. You can see it's got 36 items. If I click on that, it pops out another menu that I can see all of the different items here. I can't select multiple items at one time, but I can just click download, 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 and you don't have to wait for one to download to click on another one to download. But yeah.
Sweet. We had a couple other questions. Scripture text and background image are not showing up together when trying to go live. Sounds technical. I would just say contact our support team. They can make sure to get you taken care of.
Yeah.
We did have a poll live that I didn't tell Dan about, and I'm going to go ahead and end that so that I'm ahead. I said, if you're stranded in the wilderness, I would rather have blank with me. And 57% said me and 43% said you. And so there you have it. We're going to end that poll right now, since I was just only that 1 second I was in the lead. So I managed to. You would rather be in the wilderness with me rather than yourself?
No. I would say the 57% of you are in trouble.
You're not making it out of the wilderness. One of us is not getting out. Oh, man, that's so funny. All right. Well, man, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been fun. We've had the most fun we've had in one of these in a while, I feel like. So we're going to end this kind of the same way we do every time. I take off my hat and we say a prayer over you guys and your church, what you do for the kingdom, our company, and our ability to engage with you and give you the ability to engage with your congregation no matter where they are. So if you guys would join me wherever you are in the world, if you would just bow your head and close your eyes, I'll pray us out. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. God, we thank you for healthy bodies, for whole minds, for spirits that seek after you, God. Everyone who joined us today has one commonality, God, in that they are in service of your kingdom and your church in an incredible way, God. More than likely, God, these people that attend will never get praised or recognized for the effort that they put into making Sundays or Wednesdays or whatever day happen, God. But God, I pray that you can just fill them with a spirit of fullness and joy in what they do, and that they are seen by Dan and I and our company and what we do in trying to enable them to reach their congregations, God. God, we thank you for the servant's heart that you've given everyone here, that you've given Dan and I to be able to come here and speak to them, speak life into them. God, and we just pray that you would continue enabling us to be able to move forward, to be able to build a good software to help your church and the kingdom, God. Lord, we pray for blessings over people in countries where they're dealing with famine and war and starvation, God, that you would continue to move in this earth and start a movement that is just earth-shattering for us. Lord, we thank you for the blessings that you've given us, and we praise you in the mountains and in the valleys. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. And like I said, we will go ahead and end our stream, but if you have any questions, please feel free to post in the comments below, and we will get to it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for choosing Easy Worship.
Yeah. See you later.
Is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. Easy Worship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple. Easy Worship is now on Mac.
Hi, I'm Raisa.
And I'm Joshua.
For over 25 years, churches have been using our volunteer-friendly presentation software to build engaging services for their congregation. But previously, we've only been on Windows.
Now, we're available for Mac users too. If you've been looking for reliable and affordable presentation software that anyone on your team can easily use, here's your chance.
And we know that many of you have been patiently waiting a long time, and that really means a lot to us.
To our new Mac community, welcome to powerful presentations made simple.